All right. In three, two, one. Welcome back to the Alaska Sports Talk Podcast. So glad to have you along wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever your platform of choice might be. We're glad you're with us once again. Sorry that we're a little couple of days late. You know, life happens. Car salesman, they can
Car
just
salesman.
yeah. I'm
The
sure
unexpected
we
things.
all got a car salesman story, right? I mean,
I
and
would think so.
And I'm not making fun of them or anything like that. I mean, it's not that. It's just like the whole process is just sucks. Like it's not how anything else. Name another product that you buy in which I like this number. How about this? Oh, and how about we do this and this and this? And like the negotiation that goes back and forth for a car. I don't think there's any other product. Can you think of one? Like
Well,
I can't.
houses to a
Okay.
certain extent.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. That's fair. But I
Look,
feel like even buying a house is sometimes a little easier than a car. Like, I don't know.
Keaton, back in the day when I was 20 or 21, saving my money, I wanted to buy a car. And so this girl, her dad was the top guy at a car place. So she set about helping me. And she said, she had that key first question that a girl often has, and that is, what color do you want?
Yeah.
So I didn't get help there.
Well, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, I guess if you really care about the color, I'm not a huge, I could care less about the color, I guess, usually. I mean, given as long as it's not like some crazy neon color. But anyway,
I got
bottom line is
Or
we didn't get a
pink.
new car. Yeah. Or pink. Yeah. So we're still waiting. We'll see if we get a phone call. Be like, okay, we like your number. We like it. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks. But never mind. Anyway, Isaiah Freeman, Brad Lowers, Keaton Homer along with you here on the Alaska Sports Talk podcast. A lot happening this week, not only at the high school level, but also at the collegiate level as well. We'll have state swim and dive meet coming up this week. We have region volleyball taking place as well. And then at the collegiate level, two huge volleyball matches happening this weekend at the Alaska Airlines Center and also up in Fairbanks, as well as UAA and UAF playing Simon Fraser and Western Washington. So we'll talk about those matches coming up. And then college basketball season starts. UAA men's basketball team already has a couple of games under their belt against top 25 competition. They'll play their first home matches or home games of the season this weekend against Evergreen State for the men. And then the UAA women as well will have a couple of games coming up against Northwest State. So, yeah, it'll be a busy weekend of volleyball, hoops, swimming and diving, all the stuff. And then you throw in high school hockey is starting,
Yep.
right? So already a couple of weeks of high school hockey season underneath everybody's belt already. Wrestling season is going on. So this might be the busiest portion of like you think about sports wise in Alaska, it's just everything that's happening, everything that's starting and ending and things like that. I don't know if there's a busier time, you
Yeah,
know? Think
things
about it.
are fun. I know at Diamond there's a wrestling match tonight. Service hosts the volleyball. And Keaton, I think you know that South and Diamond hosted the first round of the volleyball tournament. That took place on Tuesday. It's hard to keep these days together because this is Monday's podcast. It's actually Wednesday. So it's very confusing. But Diamond beat Bartlett, and then Chugach a winner. They'll play um, tomorrow night, if that's Thursday. And then South was a winner, and Service was a winner, and they'll play Thursday night as well. Today, it's still Wednesday, losers bracket, so loser out. So after today, we'll be down to 6 teams, and that's as clear as I can make it.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on what day you're listening to the podcast because you can listen to it on
It's true.
Saturday and then be can thrown completely off,
Yeah.
But uh
Wait,
in terms, yeah, well, I mean, just trying to live in the present time, I guess. I don't know. But as you mentioned, Chugiak with a 3-set victory over Eagle River. Service won in 4 sets against East. Diamond won in 3 against Bartlett. South won in 3 against West. So tonight, the recording of this podcast on Wednesday, there's 2 matches that are happening in the CIC. Bartlett and Eagle River, and then West and East. And then on Thursday, South versus Service and Diamond versus Chugiak. The bracket is online, ASAA365.com, but it's a double elimination tournament for the region tournament. So even if you end up losing in the next couple of days, if it's your first loss, you still have a chance to go through the whole consolation or losers portion of the bracket and try to get back to the championship type thing. So some 4 big matches coming up on Wednesday, 2 tonight, 2 on Thursday, and then you have the championship on Saturday at Service High School. So a lot of volleyball. Yep.
Just to say a couple things about that. If you're planning your volleyball weekend, you don't want to miss Friday night. That'll be the battle of the undefeateds. The anticipation would be 1 versus 2. And also the winners tomorrow night kind of guarantee themselves at least 3rd place. The top 3 teams are guaranteed going to state. So a lot on the line Friday night. And then if you don't win Friday night, you got to play Saturday morning. So sometimes that's a tough way to go. But sometimes the team that plays in the morning actually is a little more warmed up, even though they're tired. Sometimes that's more valuable. So interesting to watch. And I think they're calling it Isaiah's tournament because he just loves the double elimination.
I mean,
yeah,
be careful, Isaiah. Just be careful.
I get it. Hey, I know I've gotten shade thrown on me for that before, but I'm not coming off my position.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, from my perspective, I think it's all right. I honestly think baseball should go to a double elimination.
Oh my gosh.
No.
No.
Oh, the NCAA does it,
Yeah. No, that's
no. Okay.
No.
Okay. Neither here nor there.
You're gonna have a week-long baseball tournament with double elimination. No, that's
kidding.
But don't they play like a 2 out of 3 series? Don't they play little?
Well, kind of. Yeah, I guess depending on what stage of the baseball tournament you're in.
In a set, you have to lose 2 to get out, but it's
right.
Double elimination.
Yeah, but
actually, I take all that back right there. If they want to do that, be my guest. I don't have to manage that anymore. So you knock yourself out with as many double elimination tournaments as you want.
There you go. There you go.
You go right ahead.
If you lose, you can still win.
Oh man, I can't even imagine the night. I remember the discussions. This was a few years ago. There was some push that basketball should be double elimination.
No,
I'm dead serious.
Basketball.
I heard that and I started laughing. Like, well, how long do you plan this tournament to be? 3 weeks?
Right. Yeah,
that's what it would be.
That's wild.
You're talking 8 tournaments? 8 tournaments? At
March and April madness.
Well, that's exactly what it would turn into. I mean,
it'd be kind of like the NCAA tournament. I mean, as long as it would take, right? I mean,
as long as that would absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing you miss most is the wrestling.
Oh, we're not going to.
Yeah, we'll save wrestling for a little while longer. Like,
don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to.
We'll stick to volleyball right now. Just to throw out some stats from that Chugiak Eagle River game, just because they're in front of me. Shout out to Elise Kelly. She had, I think, 4 aces, four of the 14 aces that Chugiak had against Eagle River in that 3-set victory. That 3rd set, by the way, took a little bit longer for the Mustangs to seal the deal as they won it 27-25 against Eagle River. And then Diamond in that 3-set victory against Bartlett, very impressive with a 25-6 win in the opening set, 25-14 in set number 2, and then 25-17 in set number 3. It looks like trying to see who led them in kills here. It looked like all right, Brad, you're gonna have to help me out here.
Well,
Ale,
I'll
what?
tell you this. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say if you already know.
You can't say Keaton. And the bad thing is they're twins. So if you're doing PA, you at least try to do the same. Even if you're wrong, you try and do them the same. But I'll tell you who's coming on late in the year, and that's the Trombley girl's just a freshman. And she's done a good job all year, but she's really kind of gaining that confidence. And, her dad played for East, her mom played for UAA. Her mom's 5'10", dad's about 6'8", 6'9", and she's just a freshman. So I think she could be a real key down the stretch.
Yeah, Piper Boston, Tatum Trombley, each hit over 43% in that match against Bartlett, which 43%, that's like almost an unheard of hit percentage.
Yeah,
So it's wild. That's up there.
Yeah, Piper often in the regular rotation, but not always. And she had probably her best game.
Yeah.
Keaton, you got to help me with number 2 for Chugiak. She's about 5'5", and she plays outside hitter and kind of looks over the net.
Elise Kelly, yeah.
Oh my gosh! So
yeah, no, she's when I asked, she said I play outside hitter. I'm like, what? You're the outside hitter? I'm like, okay, impressive, and she plays really well.
She's a force of nature.
She is. She is. So, yeah, it's not your typical size for an outside hitter, right? But she plays that position really, really well, and also had a terrific serve, especially on Tuesday against Eagle River. Mentioned those 4 aces that she had. So,
yeah, heard the coaches say she's still in high school. I thought she was a senior. They were sad to see her back.
It's funny. I mean, like you get some of the freshmen that, if you start playing varsity volleyball, it just feels like you're still around. Like, I feel like that's any sport. Like, holy mackerel. Like, even at the college level, well, college is completely different because you got people that are playing 6, 7, sometimes even 8 years.
The other thing, our friend Bob Barger, his favorite thing is, and they're going to be pretty good next year because she's only a freshman. Only a freshman.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, if you want to get caught up on region volleyball, and then after regions finishes this week, the table will be kind of set for the state tournament coming up next week, which begins on Thursday, Friday, going on into Saturday at the Alaska Airlines Center. So keep your eye on ASAA365.com. Get caught up on all the tournament action, scores, how the brackets are looking, and how things are shaking out. Remember, the tournament site for Region 4 volleyball is over at Service. So all the remaining games now being played at Service High School from here on out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Other region volleyball that is happening, it's the MAC volleyball, the Mid-Alaska Conference volleyball tournament. They are starting tonight as well. West Valley, North Pole, and Lathrop all taking part in that tonight. And then they will have their championship game tomorrow night after things kind of get settled out, as the number 1 seed getting a bye, the 2 and 3 seed playing tonight for the right to advance into tomorrow's championship game. The other conference, the Northern Lights Conference out in the Valley, they don't start their championship or their tournament until tomorrow. Tomorrow night on Thursday, they'll have the opening game between Kodiak and Colony. Wasilla on a first round bye as they're the number 1 seed. Soldotna and Palmer will also play tomorrow as well. Brad, I know you've mentioned Wasilla a couple of times. They're probably the team to beat, definitely in the Valley, it seems like, and they can give some of the Cook Inlet Conference schools a run for their money as well in the postseason, I'm sure.
Yeah, Colony's received a lot of attention, but I think Wasilla, too, they're kind of, you see it with Jeannie Hebert, and you see it in certain programs that even after they lose some of their top players, they've kind of established themselves and people really care, and they just seem to, a lot of the same teams end up high, even when you just think now we're going to get them. Now they're going to drop off, but they just take the momentum and the pride that they take in their program, and they continue to, be some of the top teams.
Yeah, Wasilla won the state title last year against South. So Katie Oxspring and her crew, another fantastic season yet again. So trying to perhaps try to run it back this year, although their team is a little bit different makeup this year in terms of last year's team. Remember, they had Miley Anderson on the floor, and then also Layla Hayes as well. Those
Yep.
players have graduated and moved on. So this year's squad comprised a little bit different. But nevertheless, Coach Oxspring getting those ladies ready to go as they go into postseason play. So we'll keep an eye on the Wasilla Warriors over the next couple of weeks as well. So again, go to ASAA365.com. Get caught up on all the volleyball action. You can also get information on this week's swim and dive meet. Want to make sure that we mention this as well.
Yep.
Swim and dive taking place this weekend at Bartlett High School. So over the course of 2 days, right, Isaiah?
Yep. Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday this week coming up at Bartlett High School. If you can't make it, you can watch it online on the NFHS network. That way you can skate dry and not have to like sweat it out.
It's warm in there. I got to set up the stuff, and man, after that is over, I'm just sweating buckets. It is warm up there.
I think we talked about it in other sports, and that is, volleyball's a long season, but swimming, boy, that's a long season. And I don't know, it's like being a cross country runner. Why would you be a long distance swimmer? It's hard. They just seem like they practice forever, then they go right to club sports, and that's just it's just a hard axe to grind. And then Woody Allen says swimming's not a sport; it's something you do to keep from drowning. So we try to keep.
It's an interesting take. Woody's had some interesting takes, but
it's.
I think it's a sport. I want to clarify it. Sport, 100%.
It's definitely a sport, but it's one of the only sports that can actually save your life.
Ooh.
What about what's going on?
But because when you think about that, what other sport can save your life if you know how to do it?
Isaiah, what's up with the diving boards?
The what? I don't know.
It's always like this year they're here, that year they're there.
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if they're gonna do some of the relays on the other side, or if that just is all blown over and now everything will be back in the main pool. I have heard nothing. It wouldn't surprise me if it'll be operating the exact same way as it did last year, where all the relays are over on the other side of the pool, which takes up time, and it's not the greatest shot in the world because we can't move all that equipment to the other side for those 4 relays in the middle of doing all these other events. It just doesn't work. So I have not heard.
Well, one thing I know in college, if I can remember back that far, is taking PE. Swimming is required. I had many reasons not to do swimming. And so I went to the head of the department and I gave my spiel. I didn't bring my lawyer. And he looked at me and he said, Brad, 3/4 of the earth is covered by water. So I knew I was in trouble right then.
He's not wrong.
No, that's a definite true statement.
Swimming.
Archery, I don't know if I would consider it a sport. It's definitely an activity at minimum that could save your life, technically.
If you're hunting, yeah.
If you're hunting.
Yeah.
Riflery, if you got the right weapon.
Sorry, I had to throw something at a cat. Sorry.
Hey, you have no explanation. Throwing anything at a cat, nobody needs to explain that to me. I find cats
doing stuff it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if you hit the old Google machine and you ask sports that can save your life, Uh, the AI overview gives you sports like tennis, badminton, swimming, and aerobics can help extend your life.
Extend
Yeah,
your life.
right,
There you go.
right, yeah, yeah. So,
If you
but
fall
I,
overboard in a boat,
yeah,
you know what would really be? I wonder if my tennis backstroke would do really well here.
my yeah, my badminton serve, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Pickleball.
pickleball. There we go. Oh,
Stupid
pickleball.
Google AI.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, all right. So that kind of a lot of high school sports going on, and again, be sure you check out the website and get caught up on all the stuff that's going on from the wonders of high school. Moving on to college now. College volleyball happening. Seawolves had a big match last week against UAF. Great attendance. The Seawolves were trying to end a three-game winning or losing streak against the Nanooks. The Seawolves, they looked great in the opening set against UAF. Played fantastic against the Nanooks. They won 25-17 in the opening set, really dominated, and it looked like, all right, they got things going. But then the Nanooks bouncing back, winning three straight sets to take it in four against UAA. So the Seawolves have now lost four in a row against UAF. They were ranked the number 20 team in the nation. The Seawolves going into last week, we're going to play three ranked teams in a row. They were going to play the Nanooks, Simon Fraser, and then Western Washington as well. So the Seawolves losing their first game against UAF. Now they got to take on the number 8 team of the nation this Thursday, Simon Fraser. That game slated to start 7 o'clock at the Alaska Airlines Center. So the Seawolves trying to rebound against some tough competition yet again. They'll take on Simon Fraser, and then they'll take on number 14, Western Washington, on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Seawolves right now, in terms of the GNAC standings, sitting in that number 5 spot, just by virtue of what has happened last week. As we pull up the GNAC standings. Oh, come on. Pull them up. Come on now. And go. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, Simon Fraser, Western Washington, UAF, Central Washington, all ahead of UAA. Simon Fraser, Western Washington, both at 11-2 coming into the weekend. UAF 10-2, Central Washington at 10-2, and UAA at 8-4. Seawolves, depending on how things shake out, they definitely have to win these next two games. Definitely have to win out with the remaining schedule. They kind of still have an outside shot of potentially getting a bid to the NCAA tournament. They still mathematically could finish at the top of the conference. They would need some help, obviously, but it would all start this weekend against Simon Fraser in Western Washington. So big matches coming up for UAA. They have to have almost some flawless matches against Simon Fraser and Western Washington. Seawolves did beat Simon Fraser on the road earlier this year, so we'll see how things kind of shake out. But what did them in against UAF was errors. The number of errors they committed was way too high. I'm trying to recall off the top of my head the stats, but the errors just absolutely did them in. And then the timing of the errors as well was just brutal. But we'll see what happens on Thursday and Saturday. Go Seawolves.com and get your tickets in advance for those two huge top 25 matchups. So big volleyball matches coming up in terms of college volleyball. College hoops also getting started as well. Mentioned that the UAA men's basketball team got their season underway this past weekend as they went on the road down to Florida to take on some tough competition. Rusty Osborne taking his team down to Florida to play a couple of top 25 teams in Division II hoops. Number 15 Florida Southern and number 4 Damon University. Seawolves losing their first game against Florida Southern 88-76, and then dropping their second game 96-62 against the number 4 team of the nation. Brad, I'll ask you this. Are you a fan of right out of the get-go jumping into the fire? You're playing two top 25 teams with a brand new team this year, going down there and, seeing what you got, or do you want to ease into the season a little bit?
Well, it was interesting. I actually watched the Florida Southern game. I didn't go down to it, but I found this,
Ah,
which I didn't even think was possible. But one thing about Florida Southern is they press like crazy. I mean, they're like, I guess, mayhem, you might say. I mean, they baseline to baseline, and they got a lot of steals. And I like this UAA team. A lot of them are new. Actually, most of them are new. But and I guess they interviewed Coach Osborne on the stream, and he was saying how they had trouble with the press. They got better as the game went on, but he said, we don't practice for the press. We got a lot of stuff to learn, so we didn't spend as much time on the press break as probably we should have. But you're going to have to pick what you're going to work on. Rebound shooting. There's only so much time in the season, so I think that game was kind of. But again, every year's a new team with the portal. I mean, it was always true, but with the portal and with only, if you're lucky, you got 3 or 4 guys that stay. But from what I could see, this is going to be a fun team to watch. And as far as, playing tough people early, I think one thing about this tournament is a lot of their D2 games go to their final ranking. So you're either going to carefully schedule these games so you can get some at home and get enough wins, or you're going to try and develop a team that is going to win conference or compete for the conference title and, gather your attention that way. So I'm high on UAA, looking forward to watching them, and they're going to have that Alaska Hawaii challenge coming up shortly, and I think that'll show a lot. We get to watch Alaska Fairbanks without seeing the real intense games that I'm sure their conference games are going to be.
Yeah, you mentioned that Alaska Hawaii Challenge, November 15th. UAA is actually going to take on Hawaii Pacific. Did you see that Hawaii Pacific, by the way, beat Boise State?
Yeah, I saw that.
Won by a point. Like that was
Wild.
like kind of blowing up there for a little while. Like, what's going on? Division two, Hawaii Pacific taking down a D1. Now UAA's done it because they've had the opportunity to play Division One schools because of the shootout. So I'm not too shocked, I guess, but it just seemed like everybody was like, "Oh, Hawaii Pacific! Oh my gosh!" But so the Seawolves will play them on the 15th. That game, by the way, it's at the Alaska Airlines Center. Just keep this in mind on November 15th. There is state championship volleyball that is taking place for 3A and 4A that day. And then you have the Alaska Hawaii Challenge going on at the same time. Okay. 5 o'clock, there's a game prior to UAA in the Ox Gym. So the Ox Gym is hosting college basketball while state volleyball is going on November 15th. So if you're trying to plan ahead, like, and you want a decent parking space, you may have to get there fairly early, like hours early, to be in a good parking spot. So just throwing that out there. I don't know how in the world the scheduling makers made that one happen. Like,
Yeah,
that's just wonky.
I think we know how it happened, but he's not playing responsibility.
Oh, I can tell you, that was not on the schedule when. No,
No.
that's not something. We tried that a couple times, and it just
Well, it's just a
that's
disaster from a logistical standpoint for the Alaska Airlines Center. I mean,
well,
that's tough.
and here's one of the challenges when you have a high school event versus and a college event. There's so many NCAA regulations that you have to do with that because it's a high school event versus non-high school. It creates a lot of different challenges, especially when you have that corridor in the middle, that whole. It's not a very wide space, and then you have to have 2 lines, and then there's all this crossover, and you have to clear and all these different things with that. It definitely creates challenges because then you're also thinking, I can imagine that the locker rooms, they're going to want to use some of the locker rooms downstairs, like the UAA,
totally.
which we don't
Yeah.
use the UAA locker rooms
Right.
for high school stuff. That's never been used. But now you're talking about cross traffic that way too, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little
It'll be interesting.
challenges on that. 100%. I'm
How about
very curious how they'll do that.
a couple of years ago when UAA volleyball won the right to host, and then
Oh, right. Yeah.
there was something else scheduled there, and Chris Green, who's I'm thinking the all-time winningest volleyball coach at UAA, he decided that that wasn't something that.
It was the Great Alaska Shootout that was
Yeah,
happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, that's different.
Well, because it wasn't a high school thing or anything like that. That was something that was a totally different
Well,
thing.
that was the year that Utah came up. This happened.
Oh,
No, it wasn't the year that Utah.
I think it was the year before Utah.
It may have been the
but
first
it's
edition back or
essentially
something.
a girls' tournament, right? It's not
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Kentucky or Duke.
No, it wasn't the men's tournament. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was when they revived it after a couple of years. But it was the Great Alaska Shootout that conflicted with it. And I mean, you had Division One teams already committed and coming up was part of it. But yeah, no, you're exactly right, Brad. No, that's a good memory. That's a good call.
They, yeah, that just has to be looked at long term. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but people people have to know what's going on. You have to look at that 3 or 4 years in advance.
You absolutely do. That's why I've always been a proponent, and I know sometimes it was looked at as kind of a side eye. Well, you don't do this with other ones, but that's why anything in the arenas you have to bid a minimum 5 years, but more like 7 years out. You just have to because of things like that. Just arenas are going to be busier than a high school gym as far as future bookings. That's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah, logistically on November 15th, it could be a nightmare for all I know. I'll be curious, but
Well,
hopefully it's not.
I
But
will definitely say this. The ticket idea on how they're going to separate some of that will be very interesting on how they're going to do that.
yeah, yeah, I agree. So we'll find out here in a couple of weeks how that's going to go. So again, just for your planning purposes, when the Seawolves take on Hawaii Pacific, not this week, but November 15th on that Saturday, remember, there's state volleyball going on at the Alaska Airlines Center as well, and they're playing in the Ox Gym for those games against Hawaii Pacific and also against Chaminade as well. But to Brad's point about the Seawolves going on the road, Seawolves do have an exciting team, I think. They got a lot of good guys coming into the program. Akok Machar led the way with 16 points. He's a transfer from UT Tyler. He also had 8 rebounds, 5 assists on that game against Florida Southern. Seawolves also, I mean, for as many new faces as they still have a lot of guys from last year's squad. I mean, you got Bishop Tosi, who's a preseason All-GNAC team, Hassan Harrington coming back, Jesse Steins, John McFadden, Zach Ebitson, Lyman Simmons also coming back as well after a redshirt season, and then Parker Crone coming back, and Luke Johnson, who's coming in as well. So, I mean, for even having some new faces, the Seawolves were able to keep some of this squad together, which is good. I mean, able to keep some key parts there for Rusty Osborne going into this year. So hopefully some of that cohesiveness, that early season, chemistry that a lot of teams try to find, maybe it doesn't take UAA as long, but I think it'll be good.
A big challenge over there is the AD leaves. So Rusty's the person.
Right. No, you're right.
Yep. That's definitely part of it.
He's got the institutional knowledge. So as a coach, and we all know this, that it's bad when your coaching is the last thing you get to.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to a meeting, and now, you got to give your best 2 hours of practice, and it's the last thing that you get to. So I think with Coach Osborne's experience, that's why he can do it, So it's just another thing you have to overcome.
Yeah, that is a wrench in the cog there that a lot of people probably don't think of or maybe even forgot about. Yeah, Rusty's, kind of the senior leader of the athletic department at the moment, kind of helping out transition things a little bit. So he's also got that on his plate um, as well. But in terms of basketball coming up, Seawolves this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Friday's game, by the way, for UAA, 11 a.m. tip time. That is the ASD fifth grader game. So bring your earplugs.
That's the loud one.
Yep, that's the loud one. So be sure you come ready for all the screaming fifth graders who are waiting for when the scoreboard hits 67. Because
Oh gosh, yeah. Ain't that
Just
the
wait
truth?
for all those fifth graders. Just wait. I
Oh my
guarantee it.
gosh.
I guarantee it. You're gonna get this. Oh yeah.
100%.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
I guarantee it. So
Eaton, I'm left in a tough spot because I have to choose between that and the prime rib special. I don't want to give anybody free advertising, but I've been going to that prime rib since about 95 when Carlos Boozer was in high school. So that's a
okay.
tough choice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, prime rib. I love prime rib. Little horseradish. Yeah, I can't beat a good prime rib, but
Prime rib is
can't beat some good
awesome.
basketball either.
Prime rib is amazing.
So that's on the men's side of things. Women are also getting their season started as well the same night. They play at 7 o'clock against Northwest University out of Kirkland, Washington, an NAIA team as well. This is the start of a new era, right? Here we go. Matt Toon, first season, taking over for Ryan McCarthy. They haven't played a game yet. This will be their first regular season game of the year. They got back-to-back games against Northwest University on Saturday, or on Friday and Saturday. Saturday's game is at 3:15, by the way. So this will be kind of the, I don't know. It's not a litmus test or anything. It's game number one, but I think fans are curious to see how this team is going to look, and all the new faces on this team. The only holdover from last year's squad, Elena Mack, right? Kira Stone redshirted but decided to stay, but hasn't seen the floor. So Elena Mack is the only Seawolf player that has seen any experience as a Seawolf coming back to this year's team. So completely reloaded, and we'll see how things shake out here in the first game of the year. Do you remember, Brad, the first time you ever coached in a high school game? What that was like? Your very first high school coaching experience?
I'm thinking my first head coaching job was at West High School, and I do remember my first win, and that was in the tournament, the Classic, back in the day.
Yeah,
and I think we may have lost we lost in the first day, but we played Juneau in day number 2, and Juneau had a legendary coach, and our team West was able to beat Juneau, coached by Jim Hamey. And that's always, it's just like you have such a respect for, the older coaches that you've been around, like a Harry Larrabee and coaches like that. And even coaches like Coach White, people with other teams, to have that opportunity, and Coach Hamey, who is so well respected, I'll never forget that as a first win.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. That's for sure.
That's cool.
That is cool. That's definitely cool.
I got a trivia question for Isaiah.
Uh-oh. I'm not so good at trivia. We'll see. All right.
You should at this, but so we'll go back to Heritage Days. And so one of the players that we coached went to Kirkland. I think it was maybe Kirkland Bible at the time. Now it's Kirkland University, Keaton. Is that right?
Northwest University is in Kirkland anyway. There might be another university there, but yeah.
So I'm asking Isaiah, which one of our former players went there?
Is that Matthew Millar?
No, but it was a Millar.
Gabe?
It was Trevor. Gabe's not actually a Millar, but
that's true. Gabe is not actually a Millar.
I
hope Gabe hears this too.
Close as you can get.
It's
I
as
always,
close as you can get.
I always considered Gabe a triplet.
Yeah, that's why I thought. Okay, Trevor went there. I didn't
Trevor,
know.
yeah, I remember that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The more you know. There you go.
Holes. We're getting into some rabbit holes.
Yeah, we are. We are. But
Deep, more rabbit hole.
I'm not leading us down any more rabbit holes. No.
I was
No.
over at Alice Hanley's tonight. She had her 92nd birthday. And in saying that, she has a lot of connections with the athletic community. And I know one of Isaiah's favorite player was Ryan Hanley. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year on the 2009 State Championship team.
Good player.
And then her great grandson is Blake Hanley, who's on scholarship. He ran at West, and now he runs at UAF. So shout out and congratulations to Alice Hanley. And she's 92, and she kind of, holds that over my dad. My dad's only 89. So that's what's happening there. But also we're keeping track of former Alaska high school players. And the other night we watched Isaiah Moses. They played against UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won the Gatorade. And the interesting thing was, among other interesting things, is last year he played for Cal Riverside. They went to UCLA. They played a 1-point game, and he scored 21 points. And this year he's playing in Eastern Washington, and they go to UCLA. And I want to tell you, after he scored 21 against them last year, he got a lot of attention from the defense of UCLA, and they held him to 15 points. So I think, Isaiah is going to be a fun one to watch from afar. And Keaton, you know that there's no secrets. There's, you can practically, if you know how to do it, you can watch just about anybody play. And I know you're heard as the voice of the Seawolves. Your reputation's gone far and wide. So that's streaming. What a good
streaming. We're streaming. We're online. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, I appreciate that, Brad. So, yeah, back at it again. I can't believe another year of Seawolf basketball. I'll have to tally up how long it's been. It's been a long time now. Started with the women, I think way back I say way back, 2012. I mean, so you say 2012 and you start thinking like, it doesn't seem like 2012 is that long ago. And you start like, that's 13 years ago.
It really doesn't, but it's,
yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. My very first full season calling women's basketball was Ryan McCarthy's first year. That was that whole transition. So, yeah, it's crazy to think about. But
well, I know you got a good seat at press table, and I'm going to do my best not to get kicked off press table this year.
Okay, all right.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't want to. Have to do that. So
Isaiah, I said one thing, and then there was a guy in the fourth row that just wrote him like crazy. And then, I get the boot. And that guy later came and apologized because, I got it.
That is true.
But he got me the boot.
Well, I think it was Jimmy Leach. I think
probably was Leach.
Jimmy calling that game. I think I don't know if it was Jimmy that did it or whatever.
It was an outside guy.
Was it? I think Jimmy was on the crew. I felt like, but I don't know. But
Adam State was playing UAA, and there was an Anchorage gal playing for Adams State. So I think she got knocked over. The ball was stolen, and this older guy, he's running the other way. I go, call them both ways, which, it wasn't like I didn't want calls for UAA. I was concerned about this Anchorage player. Anyway.
Probably shouldn't be yelling at officials at press row.
No,
I mean, just as that's a
general good rule of thumb.
But it was hilarious that he got removed, because the other guy started.
Well,
he thought it was Brad.
If not sportsmanlike.
But knock on wood, I have yet to be removed from any games while broadcasting, or
that's
removed
good.
from any games in general. I mean, so that's. I've never been ejected from a game. I came close one time in a football game.
Yeah.
That was it.
Not count like your second and third grade team.
No. I've yet to see anything that would make me want to, throw a chair across the floor like Bob Knight, anything like that. So anyway, uh, a lot going on this weekend, guys. Bottom line, in terms
Yep,
of high
there's a
school
lot.
sports and things like that. So if you're in tune to the high school sports realm of things, ASAA 365 is the realm where you want to live and stay updated on volleyball, swim, and dive state championships that are occurring this weekend, wrestling updates as well, hockey games that are taking place as that regular season is going on. GoSeawolves.com is where you want to live for everything that's going on in terms of UAA volleyball, men's and women's basketball as that gets started at home this weekend as well. Big shout out also because last week, UAA hockey, I know we didn't talk about this, but UAA hockey with a huge upset win on Friday in overtime against number 6 ranked the Denver Pioneers down in Denver. So
That
a
was
huge
big.
shout out to the Seawolf hockey team as that was their first win of the season, by the way. So no better way to get your first win of the year, I guess, than a top 10 opponent. So big shout out to Matt Shasby and the crew there over at the hockey team.
Just watching them from a distance, obviously hard to, go from D2 to, make that full conversion to D1. But you look at, it seems like every year they got a win that nobody thought they would get. This was kind of a, one of those wins, but you look back and there's just about, one or two like that they win a game they have no business being in. So
Right.
you gotta give them some props.
I think this was Matt Shasby's 5th or 6th win over a top 25 opponent, I think. So you're exactly right. Like at some point in time in the season, they seem to pull a game out that nobody's like, oh, okay. Oh, you beat Wisconsin. Oh, wow. Didn't see that one coming. Oh, you beat Denver. Like, well, like, okay. You beat Minnesota or something. Like, it's just like, yeah, okay. Wow. But yeah, he does have a few ranked wins underneath his belt. That's for sure. So, the backside of that is that UAA got shut out on Saturday night, but we won't mention that. So
We won't mention
but anyway, a lot going on. Be sure you check out those websites, ASAA365.com, and then also go Seawolves.com. Get your tickets online for all those events. For Isaiah Vreeman, Brad Lowers, I'm Keaton Homer. We'll see you out there this weekend at the arenas.